Chuck's Diecast Car and Model Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at this very cool car. This is the Ford GT. This car was built in the mid-2000s. It was actually one of the fastest cars in the world at the time, and honestly still one of the fastest cars. And it was actually a very, very popular supercar, even though it did not sell in the numbers that Ford hoped. They were hoping to build 4,500, but production ended at just over 4,000, which is kind of interesting since it had a relatively, bargain price for a supercar of about $140,000 to $150,000. This car did have a supercharged V8 in it with about 550 horsepower and had a top speed of over 200 miles an hour. So it was one heck of a car, particularly for the time. And I always liked these cars. Of course, it is a tribute to the Ford GT40, which raced at Le Mans and so on back in the 1960s. If you haven't seen the movie Ford versus Ferrari, you really should see it, because it is a great movie all about the rivalry between Ford and Ferrari back then. And the GT40 is really, really a very cool car. I've seen a few of those, including the Le Mans winning car, and it is definitely a gorgeous piece of machinery, as well as this car. This car, as I said, was built as a tribute to those Le Mans cars. And what happened here is basically Ford, made this as a concept car to, basically, inspire or, bring in customers to Ford. It became such a sensation when it was displayed that they decided to build the car. So that's why we even have these cars now. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the model itself. This is, of course, a Hot Wheels model. It is somewhat, of better quality than a Maisto or Barago. And it is a pretty nice model, and we'll go ahead and show you all the details here, okay? So, first of all, taking a look at the side here, you'll see the, the badging on the side is nice. The decals are excellent. The wheels, for some reason, won't focus. There we go. Alright, you can see that it has the drilled rotors, which do turn with the tires. And of course the Goodyear Eagle branding on the tires, so that's good. Taking a look here at the scoop here, which is sort of a trademark of the Ford GT40, that looks pretty good as well. Of course the panel gaps in here are a little bit big, but that's, die-cast car models. When you take a look at the front, well, it is pretty good as well. Headlights are, well, they're sort of what you expect of a model car of this vintage. It's got those little, let's see, those little pegs in there. But other than that, it looks pretty decent. The grille is actually mesh, which is a bit surprising to me. But it is nice as well. Interesting thing is I don't see a windshield wiper on this car. I kind of get the feeling that maybe it's under here and that thing pops up in order to use the windshield wipers, but I am not sure. Notice that it has two filler caps. Now with Le Mans racers, they had two filler caps because you don't know what side, there are different tracks, around the world, and you don't know if when you go into the pits you're going to be filling the car on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. That's why it had two filler caps, but I don't know if this One actually has 2 usable filler caps. One of them might be just, there for appearance's sake. By the way, I really do like this color. This is probably my favorite color for GTs, other than they made a limited number of ones in the Gulf colors of orange and the light blue, which are excellent, but I like the purity of this white with the blue stripe, particularly since white traditionally are the American racing colors, as like red is for Ferrari and green is for the British, and so on and so forth. Okay, now taking a look at the back here. Again, this is nice. The vent in the back, or whatever you want to call it, is once again mesh and not plastic. Exhaust is very cool. The taillight's pretty good, and if you'll notice here, unlike most supercars, even of that era really, it doesn't have a diffuser, for downforce. Of course, neither did the original GT40s, but I'm sure that probably affected the handling on this car a little bit, but it still looks very good. Now you can see the engine in there under the engine cover, and so let's go ahead and take a look at that. There it is, the V8 engine. I believe it was a 5.7 or maybe a 5.4, and again it had 550 horsepower. Detailing on the engine isn't too bad, except from what I've seen in photos, those heads or the valve covers actually are supposed to be like a Ford blue. You can see the supercharger there. The exhaust is pretty interesting there, with the headers going to those little mufflers, and then also take a look there, you can see the dual wishbone rear suspension there too, which is pretty neat to see there too. Okay, and finally let's go ahead and take a look at the interior here. The interior is actually really, really nice. I really do like this interior. Take a look at that. They did an excellent job there. The steering wheel looks great. The center console with the shifter looks great. You can see that it's a manual transmission, which this has got to be, along with the Ford Carrera GT, one of the last manual transmission supercars. You can see the pedals down there. The grommets on the seat, in tribute to the original GT40, looks excellent. The seat belts look really good. So definitely a highlight of this car is the interior. Again, you can see it here as well. Door panels look good. And really, my only problem with this model is that, if you'll notice, the rear view mirror is a little bit droopy. But other than that, it is a very good model. And so I do recommend it if you can find one. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You have yourself a great day, and well, again, thanks for watching the video. Goodbye now.